Happy New Year, everyone. So, this isn't a review, but this sort of review. It's not a review of a show. I'm going to start this with some sad news. Over the last few days, two wrestling people went to that big ring in the sky. One was a independent wrestler by the name of Jason Strife. A lot of people probably won't have heard of him, but he was very young. He was like 37, so very young. He worked a lot. He did work on WWE way back in 2014. He was like an extra with it was like a Russian soldier, I think. So, but yeah. And then obviously he's worked for like independent stuff like subsidized NWA promotions. But yeah, sadly he's passed away. And also Don West, who was part of TNA. At the time, it was TNA anyway. Impact now. Don West was part of their commentary team for years. Him and Mike Tenay. Sorry, you won't get that, but that's Tenay did that all the time. But yeah, and I thought they were really good together. I really enjoyed Don West and culture. I thought he was, but his passion was like really good. But then TNA decided to go in a different direction, and then in 2009, Don West turned heel. I know he turned heel on TNA, and it was a bit didn't work for me. But yeah, and then Taz came in, and he was really like pushed off the side. He worked behind the scenes. He worked behind the scenes mainly, Don West, in like the merchandise things, but he did other things. But yeah, unfortunately, he passed away from lymphoma in the last few days. So sad. So as I said at the start, this is a review, but not really a review of a show. More, sorry about that. Why did I do that? Apologies. This was a review of, well, wrestling in general in 2022. So I was originally going to go through like every pay-per-view, and then I was going to just do a review of them, but I can't be bothered. It's going to take too long, and I haven't got that time really to waste. So, yeah. So, where do I start? Because 2022 was just like weird. Right, okay. Where should we start? Might as well start on day one. That night, Brock Lesnar became WWE champion when he wasn't even in the match to begin with. He was added. Because Roman at the time tested positive for COVID. Didn't acknowledge that, did he? But yeah. Oh dear. Bit of a late night last night. Sorry, lads. But yeah. So, and then obviously some strange things happening in wrestling in general. So let's start with the big boys. AEW. As you know, I'm not I'm not a diehard AEW fan. Like some people on the internet are, who think that AEW, everything they do is the greatest thing in the history of wrestling, and that they've never done anything wrong ever in the history of wrestling. Everything that AEW does, and especially Tony Khan, turns to gold. Whereas it all, for me, some of it turns to you get my drift. So yeah, let's look at the elephant in the room. He's not here, he's gone outside. All Out, the media scrum. So, do I think that there was a fight? Do I think it was staged? I still think it was staged. I really do. I'm not convinced about any of it. The Elite have come back after being suspended for weeks, days, I don't know. It was pointless. I mean, executive vice presidents are not gonna get fired from their own company, are they? So it's just silly. The man who shall not be mentioned, he hasn't been seen or heard from since. But yeah, so hopefully he won't be seen or hear from ever again. That's my opinion. Other going ons in AEW, Paige, Saraya, Saraya making a debut, in-ring return this year, which was great. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of AEW, but I am a fan of some of their talent. So you'll probably get a bit confused by what I'm saying here. So AEW, I think, has too many people on its roster. And yes, I know they have Ring of Honor, but what are they doing with Ring of Honor? They decided that they were going to put it still on One of the Honor Club, which doesn't make any sense to me, because unless you're a diehard Ring of Honor fan, which there are a lot, don't get me wrong, you're not going to see it. So I don't understand it. There's far too many wasted wrestlers on AEW's roster that it's bloated, for my opinion. But that's just me. AEW overall is good at times. At times it's not so good. I feel that AEW. I think AEW, well, some of the higher ups in AEW anyway, think that just because they're number one now, I don't know whose opinion that is, but apparently AEW is the best wrestling company of the last year. Okay, that's like personal opinion. Do I think AEW is the best wrestling company out there? No. Do I think WWE is? No. I think that the best wrestling company is Stardom in Japan. But hey, let's not go down the Meltzer road of loving everything that Japanese wrestling does. Oh, Dave. But yeah, so I have strong opinions about AEW in certain aspects of it. So I think there's too much made of how great the Elite are. And when I say the Elite, I mean the three of them. I don't mean Hangman Adam Page, because I think he's great. I really do. I think he's brilliant. I have a problem with the Young Bucks, and I specifically have a problem with Kenny Omega. I've never seen his matches, to be fair, so I'm not going to comment on his in-ring work, because I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's bad. I don't. You know, I know people disagree with me, but hey, that's my opinion. That's what I'm here for, to give my opinion. So what I have a problem with Omega is that he seems, and I don't know this, but he seems to have a very, very high opinion of himself. And he belittles, what I can see, he belittles other people from doing stuff. So I don't like him. I may have to watch some of his stuff to just appreciate maybe if he is that damn good, as somebody once said. But yeah, I don't particularly like the guy. Sorry. Sometimes you like people, sometimes you don't, and Kenneth falls into the latter. Sorry to say. As for the Young Bucks, or as I like to call them, the not so young Bucks, because let's be honest, what do they bring to the table? To me, as a wrestling fan, they're not spot monkeys, as people would say, but I don't think. At times, I think they're overrated, personally. But yeah, I think I've gone a bit negative here on AEW, so apologies for that. But I'm just telling you what I feel. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But it's an opinion. Like anything in this business, it's an opinion. So talent-wise, AEW is stacked, and probably too many people work for AEW. A lot of them have signed ridiculously long contracts, and who knows where people will go. They'll stay. A lot of them will stay in AEW because of the length of their contracts. But some of them who I have very, very strong feelings of love, as it were. I wish they hadn't gone to AEW. I think some of them are wasted in AEW. Some of them could be. I'm not saying they'd be better used in WWE, because I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't think they're being used to their full potential in AEW. Really, that's it. I'm not going to go through the whole roster because I'll be here till next year doing that. But yeah. I haven't got a problem with AEW per se. It's just, as I said, some of the decisions they've made over the last year haven't sat well with me. And so there. On a side point, I just want to say that Jamie Hayter, who is the AEW Women's World Champion, deserves to be the AEW Women's World Champion because she's that damn good. And people think, oh, well, she's not Britt Baker. Britt Baker's brilliant. Don't get me wrong. But Jamie Hayter, give her props. I don't think she gets as enough respect as a women's world champion as Britt Baker did. And I'm sorry, that's the way the seams of wrestling mainstream like to say that Hayter, oh, she's not that good, but she is. She is really good. UK wrestling is really good. As you know, I went to a show at the end of last year and I was mightily impressed. Man like Darius is just brilliant, especially when he's a face. You need to, if you're going to watch anything on the network, and I promise you, I'm not saying this because, I'm like a WWE Mark. My name's not Mark, it's Will, so it's WWE Will, not WWE Mark. It doesn't work. All right? Yeah, thanks. You can't see me. If you're going to watch any programming that isn't WWE on the network, I personally will watch Progress. I love Progress. I think it's very underrated. I think people think, oh, well, it's just British people. It's not. They've got a lot of talent that have gone across the world, come back and everything. I've said before about Lana Austin and Session Moff Martina. I think they're two of the best wrestlers, let alone women wrestlers in the world. I do. I don't think Lana Austin gets the coverage that she should get. I think she's brilliant. Personally, I think Session Moff Martina is brilliant. And where they will go in time, I don't know. I'm not their agents. But yeah, I think they're both should be, if they wanted to, could work for any promotion in the world. That's just my opinion. But I love them in Progress. So, Spike Gervais is really annoying, but bloody good at what he does. Commentators are good. Simon Miller's good. He's funny actually when he does the shows. But yeah, I like Progress. I really do. There's lots of unsung people in there. I did have an argument with someone last year on Twitter about Progress, and someone was saying their card was like, oh, it's gone downhill, and I will defend Progress till forever. I don't think it's that good. It's a shame I didn't get to go and see him in Cardiff, but hey, that's life, Things happen, things don't happen. You've got to take the rough with the smooth, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get on to WWE. So this is quite a long video, isn't it? I didn't think it'd be this long. So what are the good things about WWE this year? Well, Cody Rhodes coming back. That was great. Who knows when he's going to reappear? But yeah, I've been mightily impressed with Seth freaking Rollins this year. I think he's been excellent. Probably been his best year, actually. He's carried a lot of the shows. Kevin Owens is Kevin Owens. He's just great. Everyone says about Sami Zayn, and I'm not feeling the UC personally, but that's just me. What else? Liv Morgan win the SmackDown Women's Championship this year and Money in the Bank for that matter, was great. I know how good or how hard Liv has worked over the last 4 or 5 years. So it was great to see her get what I personally think is overdue, and that was a title run. I'm disappointed that she lost it to Ronda, but there we are. That's just, I don't like Ronda, as you can tell. But yeah, some good stuff. NXT is just, I'd give NXT another go. I know people went off of it when it was under 2.0, and it is still under 2.0, but I actually quite like it. I think there's a lot of good stuff in there. I mean, Wesley's good, Pretty Deadly, they're a really good tag team. I like Schism, they're good. I like Cora Jade. I really like Cora Jade. I think she's going to be a breakout star. I really do. I think that when she first came in, she came out like with a skateboard and stuff, and it was just it's good, but it didn't really kick in. And then like last year, she went heel, and it's made her. I think she's just so charismatic, and I think she's great. And like I think she and Bron, because if you don't know, they're together. I think both of them would make great additions to the main roster at some point. I'd like to see Cora win the women's title though in NXT. I think she deserves that. Been really good. Roxanne Perez is great. There's lots of. I'm not going to go through the NXT roster, but there's lots of people out there that I think could be world class on the main roster. What else? What else didn't I like? Because there's a lot of things I didn't like in WWE this year. Let me think. Oh yeah, Roman. Look, I don't. This storyline with the bloodline, it's run its course for me. I don't know why it's still going on. I don't get it. It's just, I'm the tribal chief, you've got to acknowledge me, blah, 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 blah. It's boring. It's really boring. And Roman supposedly unified the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship at Mania. And the Usos unified the tag titles, what was it, May time? So they're both undisputed tag title, world title thing. But it doesn't work for me, because for me to prove the Usos to a lesser extent, because they do appear quite regularly. Roman hardly ever appears, and when he does appear, it's not to defend the titles. So should he be stripped of one of the titles? Of course he should. He never defends a title. It's just completely pointless. But I'm not booking it. But if I was booking it, I think we know where I would be booking it. But yeah, so that's my opinion. There's been some really good things the year. Drew, I still think Drew is top tier. Dan probably doesn't think. I don't think he's been booked as good as he should have been. Sheamus is just. I've always liked Sheamus. Even like when he was, bad guy run last year. I liked him. I do. When I was at the Clash, he put on an exhibition, him and Gunther. So it was great, brilliant. Like, people coming back is I don't know, maybe too many of them have come back now because like it's diluting it a little bit. But yeah, my feelings is that overall, the one thing that stands out, obviously, is the one thing I haven't mentioned: Vince. So obviously, Vince left WWE or the top of it in July, and then obviously Steph and Nick Khan and Triple H took over. There's talk of Vince coming back. I hope not, because that would just like make the last 7 months completely and utterly pointless. But yeah, if he comes back, then expect everybody that Triple H has to be brought back to be released again, which wouldn't help anybody, especially the wrestlers, because that's what's get lost when people get released. It's not just about them; it's about their lives outside of the ring. So yeah, I like what Triple H is doing. I like some of the stuff he's done, and some of the returns have been really good. Like the one at SummerSlam with Bayley, Dakota, and Io. There are other returns that haven't quite worked for me. But yeah, and then obviously coming soon to an NXT TV too soon is, well, you should know, but I'm not going to tell you. You'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, overall, a good year. Obviously, a huge change of momentum this year. And one day soon, maybe I'll have some gold around my way. I'm not going to win any gold. Who am I talking about? But yeah, this is just a review of the year. I will be doing more reviews as we go along in 2023. Obviously, the first event of the year is coming up very quickly. That'll be on January 28th, and that is, of course, the Royal Rumble. And as we all know at the Rumble, only one can win. Well, actually, two can win because there's a men and a women's Rumble. But you get the point. So, but yeah, all fun, all good, all safe, all calm. And I hope everyone has a great 2023 in wrestling, out of wrestling. You know, things hopefully will be better for me than they were last year. Didn't really have a good year, did I? But I'm sure it'll get better, and I'm very grateful to everyone who watches these videos, even if it's just for like 10 seconds. It's fine. That's good. I'm happy. I'm happy. So I will see you all very, very soon. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you at ringside.